Alright, so I'm back. Having sworn off doing wrestling reviews ever. Especially Total Divas. I'm never going back to that shit. But I figured, you know what? Enough people were talking about it on Twitter the other night. And I was like, I haven't watched the product in weeks, months actually. I think I actually stopped after... Oh god. I don't even remember the last pay-per-view I watched. It might have been Mania. It might have been Mania. I honestly can't remember the last pay-per-view I watched. So, I mean, enough people were talking about it. It was, oh god, what was it? Takeover, NXT Takeover, in Brooklyn. And I heard some rumblings about it, but like enough people were doing it, and I was looking at the animated GIFs that people were posting on Twitter, and I was like, what the hell, I'll watch it. So I waited until the dust settled on everything, and everyone was ranting and raving about how good the women's match was, how the tag match was. So I was like, I'll give it another shot. And I've been completely like devoid of like wrestling storylines for the last 2 months. I've just been like reading about it. Like I just didn't have time for wrestling at the last couple of months. I've just been, you know, we've been dealing with a lot here, especially with my PC being down, and finally got that up and running so I can, you know, do more of these type of reviews. And plus, it's been like super hot, so running these lights right back here is killer. So let's talk NXT. First off, Full Sail did not want this show to go away. And they were just like, every time they said, like, oh, we're going to go to Brooklyn, and they would just boo the hell out of it. And it's just, and they were like, Kevin Owens said it best, it's just like, you want us to grow, but when it's not yours anymore, you're mad. Like, you know, make up your mind. So, Brooklyn, and actually this is in the same arena they're holding Summerslam. So, they have a 2-hour show the night before, and then they have a 4-hour show tonight. Again, we'll get into that, and I'm probably going to break these up depending on how long I go talking about each show. So we open up. Triple H is inside the ring with a lapel mic that no one can hear. No one in the audience, no one in the crowd can hear him. And he's talking about, you know, the evolution, and then he does like the hand thing to raise the lights, and the crowd pops, and he goes, "We are NXT." It's weird seeing Triple H, who's the COO, the company, glorified babyface because he's the guy who's running NXT. This is his baby. But then whenever he's on WWE as the authority with Stephanie, they're just instantly booed. So I always thought that was weird. And I pointed this out, and I told some friends of mine at work, because they're in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. I questioned why they were not in Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden is booked this weekend. Not for another wrestling promotion. Not for UFC. But for a League of Legends finale or finals or whatever. Like, how is it that for the last 3 or 4 years we haven't had a Monday Night Raw or even a Friday Night SmackDown emanate from Madison Square Gardens, or hell, even a pay-per-view? Like, did someone in the Garden piss in Vince's coffee one day and he's just like, I'm never coming back to the Garden, or we'll only have house shows? Like, the Garden is the Garden. It's like the most prestigious arena in the world. You know, it's where WrestleMania started. And like for the last 3 years we can't get in there. But we'll go back to Chicago every, you know, 2 months to hear CM Punk chants. Opening match, Tyler Breeze versus Jushin Thunder Liger, which they keep touting as his debut, but I'm pretty sure this is just a one-off appearance for Jushin Thunder Liger. And I've always questioned something. He's a masked wrestler. He's a guy who's never revealed his face. Is it the same guy? Could it be like the same? I don't know. Like I looked back and it's like the same build, but could it be the same Japanese guy that's been playing Jushin Thunder Liger for X amount of years? I don't know. I mean, you could like, you know, slap anybody in there to take the mantle. It would be pretty much the same. Well, actually, for Tyler's entrance, out came like a bunch of models that were wearing like, you know, like fashion. At first, I thought like, did they forget to announce something? But like, they were a part of his entrance. He was doing the selfie stick with all of them, and everyone's just like, oh, and instead of putting the feed up on the Titantron like they usually do, they're just like, oh, quick, log on to Facebook and watch his entrance being streamed live. Because I guess Facebook's got live streaming now. I think Stephen Amell uses it for his Facebook fans instead of just posting a video up. I don't know how that would work. So yeah, Television was Jushin Thunder Liger. First thing, crowd chanting "Full Sail sucks." This is besides the Tokyo thing, like just for their championship match, I think this is like the biggest attendance for an NXT show. I think there was like 15,000 people. No, they said nosebleed seats were sold out. Let's see here. This one was actually, you know, Jushin worked the crowd really well. They both worked the crowd really well. It wasn't like, you know, super spotty match. Like, they actually went at a decent pace. And it was pretty entertaining. Like, I don't think maybe half the crowd knew who Jushin Thunder Liger was. But, like, this was his first time in a WWE ring. Because he only had worked with WCW, maybe ECW? I can't remember. I think he worked for TNA, but, of course, TNA doesn't exist. So Liger takes the win with the Liger Bomb. I knew, like, a lot of people were just like, damn it, Tyler should have won. Yeah, like, honestly, win-loss really doesn't matter unless the people make it matter. And I guess the announcers were just like, oh, if, you know, he pins Liger here, then that sets him up. Like, I was like, okay, you're gonna give him a title shot, Regal? I don't know. But yeah, Liger takes the win, and then they immediately cut to Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and X-Pac sitting in the front row. And the announcer, I don't know who it was, like, look, NWO in the front row. It's like, well, actually, they're here to promote the Click, because they had that week-long special on the network, and they had the T-shirts. It's just like, yeah, they were in both, and yeah, half of them were in D-Generation X, but, you know, we only like them to be in the one group when it seems fit. I forgot to get this girl's name, but apparently they're running vignettes for a new NXT women's wrestler. It's the whole, you know, beauty power, I'm this person, so we'll hold back off. So next up is for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss versus the Vaudevillains, who introduce Old Blue Pants as their valet to counteract Alexa Bliss. First off, I had to notice Blake and Murphy and Alexa wearing very Iron Man-ish trunks. All matching, too. That was kind of cute. So, I don't know, because like I said, I stopped watching NXT. The last time I watched NXT was when Samoa Joe debuted, and I kind of fell off. But from my understanding, it was like, weren't Big Cass and Enzo Amore and Carmella feuding with this team? I don't know where the Vaudevillains came in, but they picked up the win. It was a really entertaining match, and the Vaudevillains are the new tag team champions. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know when they turned face. I think they were kind of tweeting here and there because they were giving like really entertaining promos. But yeah, you know, hats off to them. I mean, that means they're going to have to stick around NXT for a while. I don't think Blake and Murphy will ever be called up to the main roster. They're just way too generic. Vaudevillains could definitely see. This is the gimmick that... These are the type of gimmicks that Vince likes. And this is something that's over with the crowd. They're just like, okay, they believe they're in the 1920s, and, you know, they've got the, you know, the speakeasy and the curly mustache and all that. So yeah, it was a good match. I love the crowd as soon as Blue Pants came out, chanting Blue Pants City. We go to the crowd, and Rick Rubin, they make a big deal about this guy. I don't know. Okay, so Ty Dillinger was a guy that would job out to Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey's the fat guy that wears the old Taz tights. And all of a sudden, like I said, I stopped watching, and I knew he was just a jobber, and like people were giving him shit. He's like, "Oh, he's really good. I think he was in Ring of Honor or something." So now, I guess they gave him some type of gimmick where he was like, 10, fucking 10. I'm a perfect 10, and he has like he's so good that he has 10 carved in his hair. Whatever. And he's going up against who's his name? Apollo Crews. So apparently this guy's a big deal. Because they made those whole, like, he's sitting in front, whoa, and, oh, he just got signed. I think his old name was Uha Nation. They were making a really big deal about this guy, and I'm like, I've never heard of you before. Like, as soon as, like, they got Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, it's just like, okay, you've gotten everyone I've cared about from the indie scene for the last, like, 5-10 years. I mean, if you could score AJ Styles, that would be awesome. I don't think that'll ever happen, but, yeah, they bring in this guy, and everyone's like freaking out, like, oh, Uha Nation. We're like, I don't know. So then they give him the most generic name possible. And I love that his entrance, he does like a Buff Bagwell entrance where he's so excited about his entrance and his theme and his lighting. He walks out and he sees his logo down below and he's like, that's me! And then he sees the logo on the Titantron. He's like, that's me! I'm that guy! Do you suffer from short-term memory loss? I find this funny. So I wrote down here, Cruz has got the frame of a big guy. He's pretty athletic. Because he's doing cartwheels and moonsaults and backflips and shit. And like as soon as he gets called out the main roster, they're like, no, shut that shit off. You're a big guy, you know, lumber around the ring. You know, don't be doing flippy shit. Pretty one-sided. Warrior press slam into a standing moonsault. Very, very, yeah, this guy's very athletic. We'll have to see where he goes. We got to William Regal, who reminds us that Dusty Rhodes is no longer with us, but that they're going to be doing a Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic in 2 weeks on NXT. And it looks like they're going to be doing tournaments to determine a new #1 contender for the Vaudevillains. So we'll wait and see what comes with that. Like, also, too, crowd, fuck you for chanting what. Like, let's let that chant die. Yeah, there was a trolley chant when Austin was doing it. Let's just let that go. Oh, and they're plugging the Tough Enough guys I don't give a shit about because my friends aren't in there. I have not watched anything of Tough Enough. I don't care about it. Like, I see 2 guys that will probably get released within 6 months, and there's 2 girls left. I know which one they're going to go for. They're not going to go for the plain Jane one. They're going to go for the Barbie doll one. I mean, it's fan vote. I mean, there's fan votes and fan votes. Since this reference, if you get it. So yeah, Baron Corbin apparently has a new gimmick. He has the whole, he doesn't have that whole, I'm going to squash you and count how long my matches are. It's like, I don't care about you, I'm here for money. Basically, the kayfabe Goldberg thing, where it's just like, I'm here to make as much money as possible, I'm an ex-football player, fuck you, give me my money so I can get out of wrestling as soon as possible. And then Samoa Joe's just like, I'm gonna kill you. And that's what happened. Like, I was surprised. Samoa Joe actually carried this kid to a lengthy match, because the day before, I've never liked Baron Corbin. Like, giving him and Bull Dempsey the whole, I'm going to kill you in 2 minutes less match, they're already done in my books. I mean, what are they doing with Bull Dempsey now? He's just like, you're too fat, stop being fat. It's like, put down the Doritos, you fatty. That's Bull Dempsey's gimmick now. It's like, oh, he's the fat guy, let's, you know, make fun of him for being fat. Oh yeah, sign of the night. This is the sign of the night. Samoa Joe comes out to his horrible, like, this is my Mama Said Knock You Out remix with the Godzilla theme. Like, can't we just license it? So he comes out, he does, like, you know, his thing, and then a guy behind him has, Samoa Joe has an 8 3/3% chance at best. I don't know if the at best was on there, but I wanted someone to put like a companion sign up that says, it's like, if you take Baron Corbin's 25% chance against Samoa Joe's 8 2/3% chance, numbers don't lie, and that spells disaster and sacrifice. I'm not going to do my Scott Steiner because it's late night, we got to be kind of quiet around here. But man, if I was recording this early in the morning, man, full on Scott Steiner. Had a decent match. Samoa Joe wins with his his Taz mission ripoff. I have to ask the crowd, or ask you guys on the comments below. Please put it down. I want to know if Samoa Joe has used the Muscle Buster since injuring Tyson Kidd, or if they've just outright banned it because, you know, injure one guy and dangerous move. It's like, it's a freak accident. You know, if Austin didn't break his neck, people would still be doing pile drivers. Not stupid like that. Okay, and now Stephanie McMahon comes out, and again, another person for the Authority getting cheers because she's talking about the Divas. So yeah, that's coming up. Bayley versus Sasha Banks. So I like the touch with Bayley with the polka dots, paying homage to Dusty Rhodes, and Sasha Banks coming in an Escalade because they can't afford limos. Holy crap, this match was intense. Like, I'll kind of skip ahead a little bit to SummerSlam. You're kind of on the right path with this Divas Revolution. The problem is, you need to have one-on-one matches. Or, like, the most, there should only be 4 Divas in a Fatal 4-Way. That's the most you should have. And nobody else at ringside. Nobody else. Like, okay, tonight it's going to be Charlotte versus Naomi. Perfect, that's fine. And it might actually stop people from getting up and going to take a piss. But putting everyone together, that's where it's hurting you. We don't want to see, like, here's the thing with the Divas Revolution. We don't want to see the Bells anymore. We're done with them. We don't want to see Alicia Fox. She's been with the company for almost 9 years now. She's almost like the second veteran diva on the roster next to Rosa Mendez, who's apparently gone anyway because she... I didn't even know that someone was putting the boots to her, but apparently she's preggers and gone. Who else we don't want to see? Tamina, she's there. Yes, she's Snuka's adopted daughter. She keeps getting injured. Like, you know, cut your losses with her. Layla finally retired because you found nothing else to do with her. Okay, yeah, holy crap. Such a good match. They told an amazing story. And Bayley got the win. And like I said, I think I said it many times before. For the Divas they called up, unfortunately, I would have to say, well, I do love Becky Lynch. I love some variety in there. I wanted them to switch out Becky Lynch for Bayley because right now all the Divas are too similar. That's, you know, bitches be crazy and I don't know what's going on anymore. You know, it's either you're crazy, you're a bitch, or you're a crazy bitch. That's the mentality. But Bayley is like, she's like the perfect role model for like the young kids. You see, like her vignette, her opening vignette had like the little kids saying about how much they love Bayley because, you know, she does all this and she's nice and yada yada yada. Why can't you have her on there? But she'll be there to hold down the fort. She's the Sami Zayn of the women's division right now, so she'll hold down the fort in NXT until her time's ready. But yeah, like crazy spots, like such a good match. Bayley picks up the win, and then they all get in the ring and they hug it out. The four horsewomen. The thing I wrote down here though is that why were Charlotte and Becky Lynch wearing the ring gear when they weren't competing? There was no dark matches. There was no anything like that. Like, they weren't competing, but yet they were in gear. Like, should have been, like, you know, in street clothes or a dress or something. I don't know. Little nitpick. Main event. Finn Balor defends the NXT Championship against Kevin Owens in a ladder match. And I'm like, I don't think ladder match would have been should have been appropriate. I think right now we have way too many ladder matches. Ladder matches right now, in my opinion, are kind of getting played out, and they kind of should be pushed to the wayside a little bit. Save it for your Money in the Bank pay-per-view, maybe one for WrestleMania, but I don't know. It's hard to top all the other ladder matches that have existed. Like, it's really, really hard to top the TLCs and all that. I mean, they had some good spots in this, and first off, props to Sasha Banks and Kevin Owens for double dutying this weekend. Like, they had these two crazy matches, and then they had to compete again the next night at SummerSlam. I did like the spot where the crowd started chanting "Ole, ole, ole" to Owens, and then Owens went like this and went "ah," making fun of Zayn for, you know, injuring himself before his match against John Cena. That was kind of funny. good way to get it. Owens is a great heel at working the crowd because he'll be like, yeah, I acknowledge your chant and fuck you at the same time. So, yeah, I said a lot of good spots, a lot of safe spots, obviously, because they can't kill Owens before his match against Cesaro, and because he's on the main roster now. But yeah, Finn Balor retains the belt. It was a really good show. I'm glad I kind of decided to be like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this, and I didn't regret it. Every match on here is pretty good. On Baron Corbin and Samoa Joe. I don't know what's going to go on with Joe now. I hope he sticks around, and I hope they finally bring him up to the main roster, because, like, guy's been working his ass off for 16 years. You know, he walled away in TNA with having nothing to do for the last, like, 4 years of his career. You know, about time. So, depending on how long it is, I might just cut it here, and then we'll make SummerSlam a separate part. But I don't have a timer on. I don't know how long I've been going for. I think I've only been going for 20 minutes. So, alright, we're doing it live. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's go with SummerSlam. So SummerSlam comes to us again from Brooklyn because Madison Square Garden's been booked for League of Legends. It opens the show with the host, Jon Stewart, who's growing quite a bit of a gray beard, I suppose, since he's no longer doing Daily Show. You know, why not? Grow it out. Let me pull up everything here. So here's the thing. Half of this show I watched at work with no sound, because I work at a call center and you can't, you know, have, you know, that type of distraction. So no sound. So let's see here. He talked about the differences between politics and these on Daily Show, Superstars. He's still angry about Brock Lesnar ending the streak, so he's here to tell Lesnar how he feels. And surprise, Mick Foley comes out for some strange reason. Let's see. Scared. Okay, he says John's on his own. He's just like, I'm gonna confront Brock Lesnar. It's like, okay. Opening contest: Randy Orton versus. Oh God, I didn't even watch the match and it put me to sleep. Oh God, I don't care. I don't care. Thank God they put this on first to get it out of the way, because if this was anywhere near the middle of the show, Randy Orton versus Sheamus is the new Randy Orton versus John Cena. I've seen it way too many times. I don't care. Sheamus won somehow. And again, I don't care. He's going to be the third guy to cash in Money in the Bank and lose. This one, unfortunately, I couldn't catch much of because I had to run it up for supper when this was happening. So it's the Fatal 4-Way, one fall to a finish for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The New Day versus Los Matadors, Lucha Dragons, and Primetime Players. What happened to the Lucha Dragons? Like, they came in with a pretty big, like a big opening, and then they had like a good Elimination Chamber match, and then just, damn, man, like, and fucking Unico, the guy who's the new Sin Cara, is botching more than the regular Sin Cara, and he's botching even worse. He had a match with Rey Mysterio in that AAA pay-per-view, and he botched the fuck out of it. Like, that mask is cursed. Big E does a really good spear in this. I always liked his spears. I always like Big E. You know, he's a big, muscular Carlton Banks. Let's see, there's a Tower of Doom spot. Oh, I forgot to say this back in NXT Takeover. There was a Tower of Doom spot in the tag match. And the smart thing was, one of the vaudevillains didn't use his other one as a sacrificial lamb to do the spot. He just powered Blake and Murphy down. That's the one thing with Tower of Doom, like, you take out everyone, including your own teammates, for this. So Kofi actually, like, tags himself in, and they win the belt. So the New Day are tag team champions again. Poor Primetime Players. They were riding so high. Oh, God. Ziggler versus Rusev. This was a pain to watch. Like I said, I stopped watching. I stopped watching Raw. So I knew Ziggler was out and Lana was doing this feud on her own. And then he came back and... How did this end? Double count out, because obviously the only person that is allowed to pin Rusev is Cena. And Cesaro apparently on a random SmackDown. They're the only two people that are allowed to pin Rusev right now, so... Double count out, and Lana and Summer Rae. Summer Rae, oh my god. What happened to this girl? Like, in NXT, she was part of a stable with Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Now she's like... She's the new Layla. They're like, we don't have anything for you to do. We'll just put you with a rando. So it's like, okay, we gotta break off Lana because she's getting too much face pops. And, yeah, there you go. Like, holy crap. So yeah, apparently it says here the crowd booed this one heavily. And I don't blame them. Like, this, like, I watched this. This wasn't great. I said before, like, Rusev is done as, like, a monster heel. Cena killed him at Mania. And he proceeded to kill him in all future matches. Like, and he kind of killed himself, too, his uniqueness, because he broke his foot. I said to a buddy of mine at work, I was like, he wears the boots now because he broke his ankle. Because he flew over the top rope and he landed wrong. That's what happened to a buddy of mine in pro wrestling, for real, who always wrestled barefoot, except for duct taping his feet. And he did a swanton off the top rope to the outside on a bunch of guys. And one guy didn't catch him correctly, and the heel of his foot just went and shattered. Made it worse by continuing to walk on it and refusing to go to the hospital until the end of the show. And then to come find out, he goes to the hospital and get x-rays. Oh shit, he needs surgery and steel rods put. Yeah, that was bad. So, obviously they're just going to set this up for a mixed tag, and it's going to suck. But the thing, though, is like, I've seen footage of Lana training in NXT. Like, she's actually training to wrestle. They won't let her wrestle. Okay, so... Yeah, the tag match, the celebrity tag match. King Barrett and Stardust versus Neville and Stephen Amell from Arrow. We all know that Stephen Amell is a really big WWE fan, and he's been, at ringside with and getting into it with Stardust. And I guess a couple weeks ago, he got pie-faced, hopped the rail, and attacked him, and then asked for a match. And yeah, like, he actually did pretty good. I mean, he's not going to be as fluent as, the other guys, like with arm drags and body slams and all that, but he took bumps, he sold, he did a crossbody off the top rope. Like, this guy's agile. Obviously, you see how good a shape he is for the show. Like, he doesn't do all of his stunts, but, he does a lot of fight choreography, and he's got to be fit for that, so, I mean, he did really well. I kind of wish his entrance was a little bit more, a little bit more pageantry to the entrance. He came out in a green Arrow hoodie. I kind of wish he would have shot Arrow and then like pyro would have went off. Best part about this, obviously Neville and Emil take the win. Someone in the crowd had a sign that said, "Stardust, you failed this city." As a, quoting the show, because that's what he does to the crooks, and then he pulls arrows to him and he's like, "You failed this city." It's entertaining. As far as like, yeah, he did a great job. Like, you see a lot of celebrities come in and they just go, "Oh, it's good to be here on Monday Night Raw, G-Pop. Go see my movie. Ah ha ha ha, you're a wrestler and I'm an actor. Yeah. And then that's it. But then you got guys like, Hugh Jackman, who will like actually, get physical in the ring and accompany a guy to the ring. I think one guy I had it 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when they had Jeremy Piven on, and he's just like, "You're banned from Summerfest." It's like, SummerSlam. Whatever. I don't care. But yeah, tag match, pretty good. Like I said, good on Cena and Mel for taking those bumps, man. Jesus. A lot back and forth on this one. It was the triple threat match we didn't get 2 months ago. Big Show, Miz, and the Ryback for the IC title. I don't know why everyone was trying to get it. The IC title's like super cursed right now. Same thing with Sin Cara's mask. You don't want anything to do with that. Yeah, they tried their best. I don't know what the hell Big Show was doing on the second rope there. Ryback retains after taking advantage of Miz getting knocked out by a was it the WMD, Weapons of Mass Destruction? Like, he's still calling his punch out that. Like dude, the Bush administration's been gone for at least 8 years. You don't need to call your fist that. What's next? Oh yeah, backstage segment with Jon Stewart. There was another one earlier with The Undertaker walking by. Let's see here. There wasn't really a whole lot about that. Okay, so another tag match, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. I gotta say something too about this whole feud. So it started off, I guess, in Money in the Bank when Bray Wyatt screwed Roman Reigns out of winning the Money in the Bank match. And then he proceeds to do vignettes personally targeting his daughter. And the be a good dad thing, he's doing the teacups. So like Bray Wyatt's doing the teacups, and then first he's just like, "Ah, you're with my daughter," and no, he wasn't. And then he starts getting mad. He's like, "You're messing with my family, man. I'm gonna come for you." And then they had the match, and instead of bum rushing the ring and flat out attacking him, he just like starts doing wrestling holds. It's the same thing with like whenever it's like a John Cena, Randy Orton, and John Cena Sr. gets involved, and like Orton punts him or beats the hell out of him. What does John Cena do? He still comes out the whole dun 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 dun. Yeah, do my intro. Okay, let's go. I'm like, no man, I would run, like, I would bum rush the stage. I would knock the fuck out of you. He's like, you're attacking my family. I'm going to kill you. I am going to murder you in this ring. And I will get away with it because it's pro wrestling and the law does not apply unless the script demands it. This was okay. I mean, there was a spot for Dean to run across all three announce tables, which is the real reason all three were there. What was the other language? I didn't get that because like people are like, "Oh, R.I.P. Spanish announce table," but I didn't see the main Spanish announce team on there. The one where they cut them off halfway, they're speaking, and they're just like, "I understand what you said, Michael." You're not supposed to. The only time I've ever put on Spanish subtitles is WrestleMania 19, when Vince and Hogan had their street fight, and they just basically took out one of the Spanish announcers. I just wanted to hear their reaction. And one guy was like, "Oh my god, you took out my partner." It's they won. Them being Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, cool. Wondering when Eric Rowan's gonna come back, and he's just like, "Hey, remember when you kicked me out of the family? No, want to be back in the family? I have nothing else to do, sure." And then they're gonna have to find a new member, and we're like, "Yeah, Shield 2.0. Let's actually do this time." Yeah, not break it up early. Next up, winner take all: the WWE World Heavyweight Championship versus the United States Championship. I don't know if it's unifying them or they're just winning it. Or Seth tomorrow, or, well, geez, well, if you're watching this, you've already seen the results. They're going to kick it off to the side. Seth Rollins in odd white trunks. People were comparing him to the White Power Ranger. Look kind of similar. And at first, too, I thought he got rid of the blonde streaks in his hair, but there's still a little bit left in there. It was pretty standard fare and actually really entertaining. I mean, they kick out of it. Obviously, this is pay-per-view, so they have like a million finishers and kick out of them. Rollins tried to go for that Phoenix Splash, man. He'll hit it one day, but only when he's face, and that's probably not going to be for a while. Until Triple H just decided, like, hey, you've had that belt for, like, 3 months. Can I have it? Like, no. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Watch Max Landis' Wrestling Isn't Wrestling video. God, I love that video. And I never knew until the other night when I rewatched it that when he starts talking about Triple H being in DX for the first time, and they had the dude, like, everyone's gender swapped, so guy wrestlers or guy wrestlers are females and female valets or whatever are guys, except for Stephanie McMahon. So they got the guy who did Star Killer in Force Unleashed, and I can't remember the name of his show. Being Human. He's the vampire in Being Human, and Doomsday in Smallville. They got him to be China, and I never drew that comparison until I looked at it. I was like, holy fuck, that's Star Killer. I thought at first it was Charlie Haas, because Charlie Haas went through that phase where he's just like, ugh, my main gimmick sucks, so let me just copy everyone else's gimmick, and then you fire me. So, ref bump, AA, Jon Stewart comes out, and he gave the tell away. He went towards Rollins, and then he went towards Cena. Then he went back towards Rollins, and he went towards Cena. We know you're going to hit Cena! You gave it away! You have to... For this spot to work, you have to be 100% focused on the heel. And then when you turn, and people won't see it coming. Like, he should have gone into the ring with the chair, be fully ready to hit Rollins. Like, here's how he should have done it. Like, I'm not going to fold it. My steel chair's over there. I'm not going to fold it out. But, like, still, he should have had it up above his head and just be like, yeah, come on, come on. And look at his peripherals to the big screen. Which, for some reason, the big screen wasn't showing the actual action. I don't get that. But, like, keep looking and just be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then turn around and hit Cena. He gave it away. I was like, he's going to hit Cena. He's going to hit Cena. Oh, he hit Cena. Still kind of shocking, but he gave the tell away way too much. So he hits John Cena with it. Rollins pedigrees him onto the chair and wins the wins the United States title. So still WWE champion and now United States champion, whatever that's worth now, Seth Rollins. So, what's going to happen with Jon Stewart? Is this a one-off deal? Is he going to come back for more? Like, that has to be like, you know, they have to say, why, Stewart, why? Because, like, you called each other out on Twitter when Seth Rollins made the, you know, offshoot thing. It's just like, oh, I'll be the new host of the Tonight Show. And then, you know, the whole Twitter thing happened. That's the big thing. If you're a celebrity and you want to be anything in WWE, just, like, get in a Twitter war with somebody. That's, like, the key to success, apparently. Don't be a guest host. Just get into a Twitter war. Holy crap. They sure left you a mountain to climb. Divas Revolution, right? Have fun. So, it's a 3-team elimination match, but if one person gets pinned, then your entire team is eliminated. So it's Team Bella, which is Nikki and Brie and Alicia Fox, against Team Bad, Beautiful and Dangerous, which is Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha Banks, now former NXT champion. Which didn't matter because she didn't bring the goddamn belt on the Raw and SmackDown. Like, it's like Kevin Dunn's ashamed of those belts. Like, whenever he saw, like, Owens and Neville show up with the belt and just be like, oh, it's a stain against the WWE champion. Ah, God, I haven't done my Kevin Dunn impression in a while. Now here's the thing too. They're also announcing Night of Champions. I'm like, this pay-per-view pretty much is useless because I know you're gonna get rid of the United States title soon. You're gonna get rid of it. You should have one women's belt, one tag belt, one mid-card belt, and the world title. So, again, my suggestion, why not fill these spots up with NXT titles? Like, have Finn Balor defend his title. Do you know how cool that would be for his entrance to that big arena? I mean, granted, NXT Takeover was like 15,000 seat arena, and they filled it, and people got to see that entrance. And the body doubles, I don't know if they were body doubles or if it was like augmented reality, and that was Balor like earlier in the day doing that. But that was a cool entrance. Like, imagine seeing that on a pay-per-view. Or, you know, have the vaudevillains, I almost said that, defend their NXT tag titles, and then have Bayley defend the women's title. You know, there's your night of champions. Every match a title match, instead of every WWE title match or every WWE title's on the line, and we have a bunch of matches that don't really mean anything because this is Night of Champions. Remember, they had enough belts to fill an entire pay-per-view of champions. That's why they invented it. So who got eliminated first? I think it was Tamina. Oh yeah. It was a quick roll-up. Brie actually got it. Here's another funny thing too. They acknowledged that Nikki Bella is 22 days away from beating AJ Lee's Divas Championship run. Actually, and they actually mentioned AJ Lee by name. It's like rubbing salt into the wound. It's just like, your husband pissed us off and you just left the company because our doctor had the gall to sue your husband. So, good luck with that longest reign thing. I don't think they'll ever do that in spite for CM Punk. Like, the current one in the modern era, 434, I don't think that'll ever be replicated. Let's see here. Yeah, so Team Bad gets eliminated early after a bunch of planchas. This is actually not that bad, but coming off of Bayley and Sasha Banks, like, it doesn't hold a candle to it. PCB won because Submission Sorority is the name of a porn site, and they had to get rid of that real quick. This is PG. And I completely forgot about this. Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. And I didn't forget about talking about this now, but I forgot that it was on the card. Holy crap, these guys beat the shit out of each other. This was a great match. Crowd felt it, they were all into it. Owens picks up the win with the pop-up powerbomb. He kind of needs this after losing 2 straight to Cena. I know I said earlier that wins don't matter in the long scheme of things. I lied, they kind of do. I'm going back on my own words. I can do that. It's free country, Merca, Canada. Now the main event. 16 months in the making. Everyone's saying, I slept too long with Undertaker. He's just like, looks at the Summerslam sign. I slept too long. This goes back to my thing about Roman Reigns and the whole daughter thing, where he should have just ran after Bray Wyatt and started attacking him instead of just be like, okay, let's have a wrestling match now. It's like, no. Lesnar was like, you kicked me in the dick and cost me my WWE title. It's go time. Doesn't even give Taker the full entrance. Taker comes in, gets underneath the ring, Lesnar rushes him with a flurry of punches, and then they start the match. That's how you do it. You don't just sit there and just be like, okay, let me wait till you do your entrance and I'll wait till the bell rings. It's like, no, you kicked me in the dick. Twice! I was hoping Brock could get a return, just so I could see someone do a compilation with Team 4 Stars, Revenge of Cooler. He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick? And as soon as Lesnar goes for one, he'd just be like, that was for my dick. But it didn't happen. Typical match between these two. They went back and forth. Odd finish. And this show was alright. This was a pretty good show. But because of this ending, fans have just went, worst show ever! God damn it, why you give me this? And I know a lot of them are complaining, it's like, this wasn't 4 hours flat. I'm like, show doesn't have to run 4 hours flat. It doesn't. Card's subject to change. It's in the agreement. You don't like it, you can try to ask for your money back, but they won't give your money back unless John Cena's hurt. And they're like, we're sorry, John Cena's hurt. You want your money back? It's not like, oh shit, Tyson's kid hurts. I want my money back because Tyson's kid's hurt. And like, oh, sorry, we only give refunds for John Cena. So, here's the finish. Which, kind of, when you know the background of these two, makes sense but doesn't make sense. I'll explain. So, Lesnar puts Taker in the Kimura. And kind of think of it, this is kind of Taker's speciality. Is the misdirection, especially with submissions. Because he's rarely tapped out. But when he does, it's always controversial. Let me explain. So, Lesnar has Taker in the Kimura. Taker positions Lesnar enough to put his shoulders down to the mat, at least for one. So Charles Robinson runs over. I'm going to use my figures to... Okay, so, let's say redacted here. I know it's all redacted because, you know, N-word. So, here's Taker. He's like this, right? So, Robinson's over here. And he sees Lesnar's shoulders are pinned. So he goes, 1. Rolls, and then he rolls it out, and then Robinson's still here going, no, 1, only 1. Taker starts tapping. And the timekeeper rings the bell. And everyone is just like, yay, Lesnar won. But the ref's just like, no, I didn't call for the bell. Why did you ring it? I didn't call for the bell. Don't ring the bell unless I call for it. And Heyman gets into the ring and he starts doing the WrestleMania 30 thing. Like, oh my God! You made him tap! You made him tap! So as the confusion goes, like he goes up and he's like, he tapped! He's like, no, he rang the bell. I don't know why he rang the bell. It's like, cause he tapped. He's like, I didn't see it. So of course, ref doesn't see it. It didn't happen. So as this is happening, so Redacted is, okay, so, well, because of the purposes, Redacted is now Brock Lesnar. So Brock goes up and he's like, what's going on? Here comes Taker. Whoosh, dick kick again. Dick punch. And then he puts I wish I had more posable wrestling figures. I should probably invest in some. It would make these things a lot easier to explain. So puts him in the Hell's Gate submission. And something I'm sure Lesnar will be fined for, flips off Taker while in the submission and says, I'm not tapping out, fuck you. Lesnar passes out from the pain. The ref awards the match to Taker. And in the massive confusion, people going like, the hell was that? Worst pay-per-view ever. I don't like this ending. This is the worst pay-per-view end ever. So they show the replay and then they show what was going on, the 1 count and the tap out. Which, if they were going to honor Dusty, they would have given us a Dusty finish. No. Instant replays don't exist unless they really want them to. Like Batista Undertaker's cage match. That's the only time video replay matters. So Heyman goes out, rings the bell, and goes like, oh, the winner, the beast, Brock Lesnar. And then they're like, oh, I won the match. And then that's it. And now Twitter's exploding going, worst pay-per-view ever! This show sucked! Like, up until then, I'm reading people's tweets. People are having a good time. But, you know, one ending to end the show, oh, worst show ever! Now, worst show ever is... Oh god, what was the name of that? There was a WCW pay-per-view where there was a run-in for every match. Every match had a run-in, every match had shenanigan finish. Every single one. I think it might have been Slamboree 2000. This is during like the reboot where they rebooted the show. They canceled all storylines and, you know, they redacted everything except for Sting and Vampiro, I think. So, I can never understand why people cry foul. Like, one thing pisses you off, and it's like, worst show ever. Cesaro and Owens was good. Cena Rollins was good. Even though the Jon Stewart heel turn doesn't quite make sense. Seeing as how Jon Stewart kicked Rollins square in the nads. By the way, someone in the comments tell me where Kane and and J&J Security are. Like, where's the real authority? Like, right now, it's just Rollins by himself. Yeah, what else was good on this? The tag match, the Fatal 4-Way was good. How much of a cluster that was. The Divas match was half decent. And besides the fucked up finish, you know, Taker Lesnar was actually not that bad. Now here's the thing, I'm going to go back to the finish. I understand why they did it. I just don't know why. Because this is going to set up a rubber match. But neither of these guys are going to be at Raw tomorrow night. Because Lesnar's done 2 pay-per-views and a bunch of Raw appearances. This is when he does the whole I quit thing for 3 months. And then Heyman's left with nothing to do, so we won't see him in his awesome promos. Like, this, they're not going to be on TV, and then Taker doesn't care. He's going to be gone. So is this going to set up for Lesnar Taker at Mania? And Lesnar beats him again, and that's when Taker's like, okay, I have to hang this up now? Like, holy crap. Like, I understand what you were going for. If this was going to lead up to Night of Champions, awesome. Great job. It's not. They're not going to be at Raw tomorrow. I almost guarantee it that you're not going to be on at Raw tomorrow. I mean, if I'm wrong, fine. Flame me in the comments. I don't care. They're not going to be at Raw. This storyline has gone past. It's probably going to restart up in January at the Rumble and then lead up into Mania for a match. And possibly Taker's. This is actually Taker's last Raw. I can almost guarantee it. Like, where the hell's Sting? Why can't Sting come back? Like, Sting, like, showed up, did 1 promo, and then lost to Triple H and shook his hand. And I'm like, no, you clobbered me in the face with a sledgehammer. Fuck you. I like kicked him in the dick. Dick kicks everywhere. This PG era, in the era of the dick kicking. Alright, so those are my reviews of the 2 shows I watched. NXT was awesome as always. I don't know why I stopped watching it. SummerSlam was A-okay. As I tweeted out, I'm jealous of Dylan and Craig and Brian for witnessing the Taker's entrance live. That's something I have never ever experienced in my life because I live in this shithole of a town where Taker was here once for a house show, but Dad said you couldn't watch it, it was a snowstorm. I'm just like, wait for the plows to go by. No, we have to leave now. Beat the traffic. Who leaves in the main event? Honestly, my dad does. And my, actually, no, it may have been my best friend's dad who took us, and he's just like, oh, no, gotta go for the snowstorm. So, don't let the ending of the main event spoil it. This was an alright SummerSlam. You know, it's not the greatest of all time, but... Oh, also, happy anniversary to the death of the Bellas and any competent story writing for them. Because this is 1 year ago where Nikki turned heel, said, I wished you died in the womb. And in Survivor Series, you're like, well, just kidding, love you again. It's like, bitch, you wish death on your own sister. And they're just like, no, it's fine. And then, you know, all those writers are just like, it's pro wrestling. Why do you remember this? It's like, why do you remember any form of fiction? And then question it being wrong. Why do you think some Trekkies get mad when the final episode of Next Gen said, get us out of here, Warp 13. And then Voyager's just like, oh, you can't theoretically go past Warp 10. It's impossible. I'm like, but Riker could go up to Warp 13 and it doesn't seem all that much faster than Warp 10. So, like, I never understood that with Star Trek where they couldn't have, like, a continuity guy. It's just like, he's like, yeah, we're going to make an episode that's all about going to Warp 10. It's like, excuse me, and the last episode of Next Gen is like, oh my god, who cares? Just write it. And like, the fans are going to be pissed. Fuck the fans. Oh, the fans are pissed. No, we're not pissed about you saying that Warp 10 is theoretically impossible. We're upset that you say that if we go to Warp 10 and like 100,000 years we're going to evolve into slug people. Even the creator said that was a bad one. Alright, I'm at the point where I'm rambling. You guys have a good night, and let's see if Lesnar and Taker show up tomorrow. Probably not. Night, guys.